Hey, what's up everybody? Justin with AmericanMuscle.com, and today we're taking a closer look at and installing the Morimoto XB taillights in red, available for your 2010 through 2012 Mustang at home. Now, you should be checking out the XBs for your ride if you're looking to drastically modernize the stock taillights on your S197, thanks largely to the more modern S550 inspired design in red, along with that full LED operation. All right, so if we can be completely honest here, guys, we all know the 2010 through 2012 S197s got the short end of the stick when it came to the factory taillights, as Ford really stepped things up with the 13 and 14 taillights, which I still feel is one of the better looking Mustang taillight designs of all time. Now, a close second for me would certainly be the S550 taillights that make those tri-bars come to life thanks to the more three-dimensional design. And make no mistake about it here, guys, these taillights from Morimoto are heavily inspired by the 2018 and newer Mustang tri-bars that utilize the more angular design in red. Now, just like the factory taillights, the Morimoto options are loaded with the high-powered red LEDs, which will certainly make your brake lights and your turn signals a lot more visible both day and night. Now, those LEDs do maintain the sequential functionality, much like the S550 options for things like your turn signals and also your hazard lights, while the reverse lights are also given the full LED treatment, and those are kind of tucked into the innermost portion of the housing here. Those LEDs certainly far brighter than the stock incandescent bulb, and I really like how they snuck the reverse lights in very seamless fashion. They don't really stick out like a sore thumb, but at the same time will certainly still be a lot more visible when installed. But outside of those modern and bright LEDs, along with the red polycarbonate lens, you'll find everything else housed in an automotive grade ABS plastic housing, which has been built to factory specifications. Finally, guys, the lights have been backed from Morimoto by a 5-year limited warranty, just in case you encounter any issues during ownership. Price point for the DOT approved Morimotos will be in the mid to high $400 range, which, if you know anything about the quality of the Morimoto stuff, along with that pretty stout warranty, you'll know that's a pretty solid deal when compared to some of the other, maybe lesser known options in the category available at a similar price point. But moving on into the install here, guys, you're looking at a very easy day in the driveway or garage, thanks largely to the simple plug-and-play design of the Morimoto XBs. Because of that, site's gonna correctly call this one a pretty soft 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, maybe an hour at absolute most to complete from start to finish. But now to give you a better idea of just how the swap will go down, check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need a ratchet, 11mm socket, and a clip removal tool. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing some taillights on our Mustang, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a short video on how to uninstall your factory setup, and we'll see you when you get back.
So the first step of this install is going to be pop open your trunk lid and remove the interior trim panel that covers up the bolts for the taillights. It's going to be very simple with a trim panel tool, so let's get started. All right, so there's a couple of clips that we're going to have to pull out in order to get this panel off. One of them on each side here, down here at the bottom, and then at the top there is a plastic nut. Ours is missing. All you have to do is unscrew it with your fingers and it'll come right off, no problem. Now that you've got your clips undone, you can pull your panel back, unplug your interior light, and remove the panel. All right, now that we've got full access to our taillights, we need to unplug the connector and push the rubber grommet through the hole before we can undo our nuts. So now I'm just going to use an 11mm socket on a small impact driver to undo each of the 3 nuts that hold the taillight into the vehicle. Just pull my carpeting back a little bit.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we've shown you how to remove your factory setup, it's time to go in with our new one. So we're going to grab our new headlight. First thing we're going to do is send our harness back through the grommet hole there. Go ahead and get that in. And we'll go ahead and pop our grommet into place. And then we can line up our studs with our factory mounting holes. Go ahead and get our taillights set. Then we can reinstall our 3 factory 11mm bolt nuts onto our studs. So we'll go ahead and reinstall our mounting nuts. And we'll go ahead and grab our 11mm socket on our ratchet again and tighten these down. Once we have those tightened down, we'll go ahead and plug in our new taillight to our factory connector here. Make sure that snaps into place. Then once you have this done for this side, you can go ahead and repeat the same process for your other taillight. Now once you have both taillights back into place, we can go ahead and reinstall our rear trim panel here. We'll go ahead and get this line back up. Make sure it sits underneath of our trunk tray here. Now we have that back in place, we can go ahead and reinstall our clips here. Pop both of those in. Then you can go ahead and reinstall your little hand screws up top. Now ours are lost to time due to previous installs and modifications. Kind of lost track of those, but from factory you should go ahead and reinstall those and button up your trim panel. Alrighty guys, that about wraps up our review and install of our Morimoto XB LED taillights with black housings and red lenses for your 10 to 12 Mustang. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.